Good evening, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for the last time of the first semester in our 15th anniversary season for varsity girls basketball. Please welcome our guests from Eustis High School. They are the Panthers. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now let's meet the teams, beginning with our guests from Eustis, and starting with sophomore number 10, Alana Seward. At shooting guard and small forward, junior number 25, Tanajea Brown. At point guard and forward, senior number 3, Kalia Douglas. Senior number 4, Diane McKinley. And finally for the Panthers, at forward and center, senior number 13, Serena Roll. The head coach of the Panthers, Kelsey Breton, with assistant coaches Jennifer McKillop and Thomas Wampler. And now let's meet your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at forward, 6-foot senior, number 15, Rylan Muffet. At forward, 6'1", senior, number 32, Canary Holiday. At guard, 5'7", junior, number 0, Jade Lewis. At guard, 5'9", senior, number 22, Shania McCarthy. And finally for the Mustangs, at guard, 5'6", sophomore, number 10, Jada Eads. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Tommy Butts. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. For those of you here in the arena, make sure your friends and family know we are live streaming this game on YouTube as well as the NFHS network. If you have someone back in Eustis, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world who would like to join us live, just have them open up the YouTube app on their favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device and search for Wekiva Sports. We also simulcast on the NFHS network. And for those of you who are joining us on one of those two stations, we welcome you to Mustang Arena. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva, and I am joined, as always, by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief. We'll be taking you through tonight's contest that is the last before winter break and the last before the Mustangs enter the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic.
And Wekiva comes in with an 11-0 record. And they go to work right away, stopping Eustis on one end. That's Holidays, no dice. But McCarthy doing Windex work.
Put back by Shania McCarthy to put the Mustangs on the board.
So got a lot to talk about tonight, Mark. It's been 8 games since Wekiva last played at home. Of course, at the top of that list, we mentioned they are now 11-0 and ranked 4th in the state according to Max Prep, Class 7A. Actually, that's overall. Underneath, no dice. For Rawl, clearing the boards, Wekiva, Eads down to McCarthy. Lewis with the shot. Muffet getting the rebound. And Holiday with the soft touch. 4-0 Wekiva.
Canary Holiday.
course, the other big story, Mark, 300 victories for Coach Tommy Butts. That's career. He's 207 and 76 at Wekiva. Coached at Eli Blanche before coming down to Florida. Before coming down to Wekiva. And the ball will go over to Wekiva.
Yeah, that was Serena Roll. Nearly got the rebound, but had to step out to do it. So it'll be Mustangs ball at their own baseline. Yeah, that game against Colonial, it's nice. Obviously, it would have been nice to get the 300th win at home. But if you have to get it on the road, you always hope that it's going to be a quality win.
Yeah, and Colonial, we mentioned Wekiva, number 4 in the state, according to Max Preps, as Moffitt turns around and buries a 15-foot jam.
Rylan Moffitt from Canary Holiday for 2, and we'll pause for a Panther timeout. 30-second timeout requested by Eustis.
But Colonial, the team that Wekiva defeated for both butts to get that 300th victory, ranked number 5 in that very same poll. So Wekiva off hot and heavy, 3 field goal attempts, 3 possessions, a 6-0 lead from Mustang Arena, looking for their 12th consecutive victory to start the season.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Again, this is Mark Barchi and Neil Fisher here to take you through this contest. And as we were talking about before the break, Coach Butts celebrating his 300th win, and Wekiva just having a banner season. They currently are ranked 3rd in all classifications in Florida in girls basketball and 1st among 6A programs. And that is largely due to those quality wins over programs like Colonial, as we get a Panther basket by Tanasia Brown.
Yeah, as great as Wekiva's been under Coach Butts for 9 seasons, they have certainly taken it to another level just when you think they can't. They're a mistake. The turnover coming the other way. That's Douglas with the ball. And she kicks it out along that baseline to
Douglas
Brown.
to Brown for the Panther bucket.
That cuts the lead to 4-2. Of course, Wekiva, 2 state championships, 5 trips to the state championship final, 6 trips to the state semifinals, 7 district championships as Eads launches too long and running down that loose ball. Seward, for all of those accomplishments, which also includes at least 22 victories every season since the first, Wekiva has upped those marks. So far this season, 11-0, ranked 3rd, as Mark just mentioned. No dice from that long field goal attempt. And Wekiva, again, they are moving this ball. They are, even though they haven't scored the last couple times down, they are looking to get into transition, and they are as smooth in terms of execution as possible. No dice for Rawl. Clinks off that rim. Eads with the rebound. And now over to Lewis, the newcomer from Bishop Moore, and she drains the rain.
Jade Lewis for 3 from Jada Eads. And we'll pause for another timeout.
So just when Wekiva started to wilt a little bit under the pressure by Eustis, Lewis sinks that tray and regains some momentum for Wekiva. 9-4.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. That last timeout was an injury timeout, so not charged to either team, but Coach Butts will never miss an opportunity to get some coaching in, no matter what the reason. And 4.5 to go here in the first.
Wekiva enjoying a 9-4 lead. Transition has been the name of the game, but just as quickly, sink the tray.
Amaria Brown for 3 on the pass.
And Wekiva comes back. The soft floater from 6 from Eads. The answer.
Jada Eads adds the Mustang floater.
And so that cuts the lead to 11-7. And the turnover, Holiday picking up the loose ball, hands it off to Eads. And Eads will jog the ball up. First time tonight, we've seen Wekiva not in a full court sprint. Each stop, goes, passes, intercepted. Back the other way to McKinley, and she goes bank for the deuce.
Diani McKinley adds 2 for the Panthers.
So Wekiva getting off to a 6-0 start. They had the first flurry of punches, but Eustis certainly has answered. 11-9. Eads launches and sinks the tray.
Jada Eads for 3.
So Eads answering a couple of baskets, and now she's going to do it on the defensive end. Steps in front, tips, goes coast to coast with the deuce.
Jada Eads steals the Mustang layup.
5 consecutive by Wekiva, a 2-point lead now up to 7, and an opportunity to get it back up to 9, or as much back to, or up to 9. This is the largest lead of the game for Wekiva at 7 points.
Omaria Gordon checks into the game for Wekiva.
McCarthy extended right over to Eads, and she launches. No dice this time, too much umph, and cleared by Eustis down the other way. McCarthy getting a hand on that loose ball. Now she gets the pass back over to Eads, who will walk the ball up again. Looks over to Coach Butts, who again, 300 wins last week. To Gordon, down to Holiday, goes with the in the middle move, the spin +1.
Canary Holiday and 1. Foul called against number 13, Serena Roll. Her first, the team's first.
So Holiday will go to the line. Lead now up to 18-9. The largest of the game for Wekiva. And Holiday can't get the ball to sink. Clinks off that rim. Eustis quickly gets the ball down. 3 passes at the top to row. Over to the right wing with Douglas. Fakes the pass. Launches herself. Rattles in and out. Left alone underneath the board. Brown. And 2 offensive rebounds. Draws the foul on the second.
Foul called against Mustangs. Number 0, Jade Lewis.
So with the score 18-9, Brown will go to the line. She has 3 points, the leading scorer for Eustis in the early going. 6 minutes in from Mustang Arena, home of Wekiva. Wekiva looking to go 12-0 and solidify its hold on the number 3 ranking overall. That's overall in terms of the classifications in the state of Florida. 7 in total. Second free throw does not drop for Brown. And Wekiva will go back to work looking to get that lead up to double digits. Eads brings the ball up. Does not give it to Gordon, but McCarthy. Gordon gets the ball back on the left side going against this man-to-man half-court set from Eustis. The pick by McCarthy. Eads fakes the pass and then draws the contact.
Panthers, number 13, Serena Roll. That's her second personal foul, the team's second, and it sends Jada Eads to the line, shooting 2.
And speaking of Eads, Mark, of course, we mentioned also Coach Butts defeating, Wekiva defeating Colonial last Thursday by a 68 to 42 score. And that was his 300th victory of his career. But in that victory, Jada Eads dropped 47 points. So she drops a pair of free throws here, 20-10 now. And Eustis back to work, trailing by 10, the largest deficit of the game. Minute and a half in the first quarter. Having trouble keeping possession of that ball in the right corner. Eads going for the intercept tip again. unable
Nice
to
work
get
by
it.
Seward there, freezing once she hit the ground to avoid the travel call and then finding some help from Douglas.
So in the meantime, though, led by Eads, Wekiva's just been disrupting this Houston offense, and now they have to reset. Look like they settled down now, trying to go into the interior's roll.
So, yeah, roll is called for traveling. Mustangs ball.
Yeah, she went right into the teeth of Wekiva's defense. Moffitt and Gordon.
Canary Holiday returns to the game for Shania McCarthy. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Wekiva with a 2-1 advantage over the Panthers. And
That's
nice
Holiday
pass.
going bank.
Canary Holiday from Rylan Moffitt.
So Moffitt showing her defensive skills, followed by the offensive with that nice pass. Eustis at the other end. Ball does not drop for Rawl. And speaking of Moffitt, she rips down another rebound.
As she has 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in the first quarter.
Again, coming off a 47-point performance.
Jada
goes
Eads through
bang.
traffic to the paint for 2.
Slashes and dashes for the deuce.
Yeah, cuts through that defense like butter.
20 seconds remaining. The pass to Brown, who goes withdrawal.
Roll to Brown for 2.
Cuts the lead to 12. Wekiva, if it so chooses, can take the last shot of the first quarter. And it appears they will. 8 seconds. Eads comes up. No hurry. Now dishes off to Gordon. Coleman back to Holiday at the top. 2 seconds. Got to get that ball up. And unfortunately, Wekiva did not realize how much time was left, and they do not get that shot off.
No basket. That takes us to the end of the first period. 24-12 is your score at the end of the opening 8 minutes. The Mustangs with a 12-point advantage over the Panthers at the end of the first quarter. Back with more from Mustang Arena right after the break. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher to take you through the second quarter. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second period. And so far, Wekiva has managed to keep a handle on the game in spite of some good breakaway moves by Eustis. We've seen some good passing in the paint. So Eustis definitely not asleep on the job tonight, but Wekiva has been dominant. Of course, Wekiva would be favored to win this game as they are the number 3 team in all of Florida, regardless of classification.
And this is, well, Wekiva loses the ball. That was Lewis losing the ball. And so Eustis, opportunity to cut that lead down to 10 or even single digits. As Mark said, 24-12 lead. Rawl with the ball and gives it up to Douglas. Back to Brown at the top. She's going to stop, pop, no drop. Clinks off the left rim. Scramble between Holiday and Douglas. And ball will go to Wekiva, again with that 24-12 lead.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Shania McCarthy.
So Wekiva scored the first 6 points of the game. 3 possessions, 3 field goal attempts, 3 converted. And since then, they have just systematically increased that lead. Every couple of possessions. And now a minute in, 24-12. This is Lewis. Over to McCarthy, the senior, down to Moffitt, the other senior. Finds Gordon on that right wing, short. Moffitt tips, but she made contact in order to do so.
Foul called against number 15, Rylan Moffitt.
So Wekiva with an 11-0 record. They've defeated of those 11 teams, 7 as Brown launches from the left corner. And Eads, the 5'6" sophomore, skied to get that rebound, although she did a nice job of positioning herself. Moffitt, the turnaround, Jay, no dice. Brown with the rebound. Of those 11 victories by Wekiva, 7 are against teams you consider quality. At least I would say 3 games over 500. The drive and the soft touch, not enough. Holiday grabbing that rebound. Again, using her height well. And this is McCarthy, who stopped, went, and then found those accelerators to draw the foul.
Shania McCarthy is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Panthers number 4, Diani McKinley. Her first personal foul, and the team's third.
So mention 7 of the 11 teams Wekiva have defeated have quality wins, at least 3 games over 500. And then they've also defeated Miami, American Heritage, Brooks DeBartolo, Colonial, and San Jose Prep. Those are all teams ranked among the entire state in their classification. Of course, Miami, always a state powerhouse. Wekiva beat them in 2019 in the state championship final. This is McCarthy who gets the pass after the turnover down to Holiday. She continues to work those big in-the-post moves. Can't get to drop that time. Douglas with the rebound. Long outlet to the other side and drop the deuce.
Diani McKinley from Serena Roll.
25-12. Wekiva's first home game in 8. And Eads trying to spark an answer. Can't get the ball to drop along the baseline. Stop, pop, no drop for McKinley. And we will come back the other way. That's Eads. Too much heat. And long rebound corralled by Douglas. And now for the first time in quite a while, Eustis will slow that pace down. Douglas walking the ball up, gives it off to Rowell, who now gives it up to Brown. Back to Rowell at the top of the key, and they set up for the half court. 5 minutes remaining before halftime. Douglas on the right wing to McKinley, back up to Douglas, and back up to Brown.
Of course, this is the last game of the semester. This will be, we had a game scheduled for Friday against Dr. Phillips. That game has been moved into January. It will actually now be senior night as the very last game of the regular season as we get a transition opportunity, and that's Jada Eads to Rylan Moffitt for the Mustangs basket. So just make sure you're aware of that programming note. If you were expecting a game against Dr. Phillips on Friday, that game is not happening. It instead will be senior night at the very end of the season. So make sure you have that update on your schedules. We got a held ball.
That's McCarthy for Wekiva.
Possession Panthers.
McCarthy for Wekiva hitting the deck. And Roll and Brown for Eustis. So into the right corner, that's McKinley up to Douglas. Down low to Brown, who spins and goes against Holiday. Holiday not only coming up with the defensive stop, but clearing the boards. And so Eads will bring the ball down. Again, Eads averaging 20-plus points per game. In a bit of a slump as the foul is drawn. Mentioned she dropped 47 against Colonial, which was also Coach Butt's 300th victory.
Hold is called against number 4, Diani McKinley, her second, the team's fourth.
But Eads scored only 6 points against San Jose Prep on Saturday. The last game is Holiday. Spins and goes bang.
Canary Holiday from Shania McCarthy.
So 3.5 before halftime. Wekiva up to a 29-14 lead, largest of the game. They've been systematically increasing that lead. And this is McKinley who launches the tray, and nobody picked up
Putback is made by Alana Seward.
So Seward left alone underneath that basket as she was slashing through the paint. Now Kenari Holiday spins and draws the foul.
Holiday fouled on the attempt, will go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Panthers, number 25, Tanajia Brown. That's her first personal foul and the team's 5th.
So Holiday at the line with 8 points. Eads the leading scorer with 11. Holiday, the 5'11" senior. Of course, she missed a couple of games at the beginning of the season because of knee issues. But since then has come up strong, averaging double digits in points and rebounds. And the lead now 29-16, remains at 29-16. Eustis, as we approach 2.5, blocked. Someone got a hand in there. There was 3 Wekiva defenders. And so Eads across midcourt.
Yeah, Kenari Holiday, I think, gets primary credit for that. But you're right, Neil. That was a true team effort. This time, though, the steal goes to Brown in transition, and that's Brown to roll for 2.
And now Gordon brings the ball up. Actually, excuse me, that's Lewis bringing the ball up. McCarthy guarded one-on-one with Brown. Brown gets a hand on that ball. It will remain with Wekiva. So to Eustis's credit, they have slowed down Wekiva's transition attack. That came out strong. They scored their first 6 points on 3 transition opportunities. But they have not been able to slow down Wekiva's half-court set for the most part. And now Lewis goes all the way back after being tipped by McKinley. And they'll reset in the half-court set. 29-18, 2 minutes before halftime. Down to Moffitt. She spins and makes the withdrawal. Great work underneath. Great positioning and used that board. And now Moffitt gets a hand on the defensive end. That's the 3rd time. To Eads, who slashes, dashes,
Jada
makes the withdrawal.
And 1. Foul called against number 3, Kalia Douglas. That's her first personal foul, the team's 6th. Eads shooting 1. But first, checking into the game, Shania McCarthy.
And as you just heard Mark say, 6 fouls on Eustis, so Wekiva will be in the bonus the rest of the way, 1:38 before halftime. And Eads at the line, averaging 20-plus points, and now 13 for this game.
Make it 14 with that made 3-point play.
And so Eads, coming off her low of the season with only 6 points, certainly looks like she's on a mission, but not only offensively, she's had some great defensive work on the defensive end. Moffitt, along with Eads, has certainly stood out. Meanwhile, Brown down low, she draws the foul as she lowers that shoulder.
Foul called against Mustangs, number 15, Rylan Moffitt. That's her 2nd personal foul, the team's 3rd. It will send the Panthers to the line. Tanajia Brown shooting 2.
So Wekiva continues to pick up where they left off. They came into this game 11-0, and certainly while they've had a handful of bad plays or maybe just not looking quite up to what they did for the rest of those possessions, they have looked like the number 3 ranked team in the nation or in the state among all classifications, and they've done it both ways, half-court sets as well as transition. And as soon as I said that, wouldn't you know it, the turnover.
Out of bounds, Panthers ball.
But you know, Mark, I think if you're Coach Butts or any of the other coaches, you'll take a handful of bad plays during each half when compared to what they've done right. And speaking of right, well, the first part of that play was right, as there was a block the second part, foul was drawn. No, actually,
No basket. Held ball, possession Mustangs.
it was not a foul, a held ball, as you just heard Mark call. So, speaking of right, 2 right plays. Moffitt getting her hand on the ball on both of those plays and creating a turnover. And now McCarthy with 55 seconds remaining will bring the ball up, actually passes it to Eads. So Eads will take her primary responsibility as point guard. Moffitt at the top. Over to McCarthy, extended right. 40 seconds before halftime. Eads, much more slower pace by Wekiva. And now Eads picks it up, rolls out on the jump, and Holiday doing Windex work, pays dividends in the form of a foul.
Foul called against number 3, Kalia Douglas. That's her second personal foul, the team's 7th. At the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs. Number 32, Kanari Holiday.
And Holiday with 8 points. And Wekiva, once again, in the bonus with 31 seconds remaining. And lead now up to 34 to 35 to 19. 30 seconds remaining. Houston, if they so choose, last opportunity before the half. They do need to get some points. Most of all, they need to get a stop. Of course, if they continue to hold possession, Wekiva cannot score. 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 10 seconds, and they launch. That was Seward. And they will maintain possession. Seward tracking down that loose ball. Throws up another wild shot. 2 seconds remaining. Eads wide right. So nobody scores in those last 30 seconds, but Wekiva coming out looking like the number 3 seed in all classifications with a 35 to 19 lead at halftime.
That takes us to halftime. We'll pause for intermission here in the final game of the first semester.
And Wekiva with a 35-18 lead over Eustis as we get ready to start the second half. Wednesday night action from Mustang Arena. Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi in the Wekiva Broadcast Production Department. Thank you for joining us. And
the Panthers have the opening possession of the third period.
And as we get ready to start, Eustis throwing the ball in. Wekiva's look like the third-ranked team overall classifications. With that lead, they went 3 for 3. Three possessions, the first 3 possessions. Not only did they get transition opportunities, as the tray is no good by Douglas, but they converted all 3 of those opportunities, 6-0, and since then, Wekiva's methodically increased that lead. And that's Eads, the fresh sophomore guard, drawing the foul right off the bat.
Foul is called against number 25, Tanajia Brown. That's her second personal foul and the team's first of this half.
So Wekiva comes in 11-0, again ranked third among all classifications in the state of Florida, Max Prep rankings. Holiday takes the pass, spins and goes bang.
Kenari Holiday on the inbound from Shania McCarthy.
Lead up to 19 now, largest of the game for Wekiva. And again, Wekiva's looked every bit the part of the third-ranked team in the state. They've scored both ways. Ball rattles in and out. Brown can't get the putback. Pulling the rebound down for a second time is Rowe, and she runs into a wall.
Kenari Holiday got a block there and managed to make it go out of bounds off of the Panthers. So the Mustangs will take over from their own baseline just about 1 minute into the third quarter. Of course, the Mustangs are looking forward to the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic, where they will be competing in not the Diamond but the Platinum division this year, as we get Shania McCarthy and 1. Foul called against number 10, Alana Seward. That's her first personal foul, the team's second.
Yeah, and of course, Wekiva has won, I believe, 6 of the last 7 championships for the Florida Prospect. That is an actual tournament. It's not a collection of games like some of these events.
Yeah, and that is a pretty massive event that takes place over 3 campuses, each campus hosting 2 brackets. So the brackets are named after precious metals and gemstones, and as the value of that metal or gemstone goes up, so does the caliber of the competition. As Kenari Holiday is fouled on the attempt, she'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 25, Tanajia Brown. That's her third personal foul and the team's third. So traditionally, Wekiva has competed in the Diamond division, which is the second most elite of all of the available divisions. And again, remember that Florida Prospects does not distinguish by classification. So all varieties of enrollment sizes, public, private, mixed together in that tournament. Now Wekiva is in the very highest bracket, which is the Platinum division. That'll be hosted here at Wekiva.
So Wekiva continues to lead and looking like the third-ranked team in the state, 40-18.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher, ready to take you through the back 6.5 minutes of the third quarter as the Panthers emerge from their timeout. And we still have Kenari Holiday at the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs.
40-18 lead for Wekiva. They scored the first 6 points. They have methodically increased that lead since then, and Holiday gets her 13th point. Jada Eads the leading scorer with 14. And Mark, just want to take a quick minute here to acknowledge some, sad news. Ed Kirshner, if you don't follow high school basketball, he is the winningest coach on the boys' side with 901 victories, 377 losses. Unfortunately, he passed away earlier today at his home, but he did live a very long and obviously productive life. He was 82 years old. So the coach coached at 4 different stops, most recently Oviedo and Kissimmee Osceola won 2 state championships, one with each of those teams. As Gordon drains the ring.
Oh, Maria Gordon for 3.
And, of course, go down the other way. Intercepted by Lewis. She leads the break. Over to Gordon. Would have been a great pass if got through, if Eads was able to hold it, but she does retain it. 5.5 remaining. And so getting back to Coach Ed Kirshner, the winningest coach in boys basketball in the state of Florida's history. Gordon unable to drop the deuce, but McCarthy doing Windex work, looking for an outlet, and she steps out of bounds, a turnover.
Now, actually, she's called for 3 seconds in the key. Panthers ball. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Rylan Moffitt. Also back in for Wekiva, Tiara Coleman.
So I also want to mention, as far as Ed Kirshner mentioned, he won 2 state championships, one with Oviedo and Osceola. 37-0. They won that state championship in 1982-83. So once again, just want to offer our condolences to the Kirshner family and his friends. A great life, but unfortunately he passed away earlier today.
Seward can't get the short jumper to go. McCarthy is there and waiting for the rebound. And Eads will set up the half-court set. 4.5 to go here in the third. Mustangs with a comfortable advantage over the Panthers. Eads lets a short one go from the key. That's not there, but we're going to get a foul on the putback attempt. Foul called against number 34, Amaria Brown. That's her first personal foul and the team's 4th. It will send the Mustangs to the free throw line. Shania McCarthy shooting 2.
So McCarthy at the line with 5 points.
Checking into the game for Eustis, number 21, Peyton Highland, and number 50, Jakelia Mesidor.
McCarthy is actually the only remaining player on the roster from the 2019 state championship team. So go back the other way. A couple of Panthers fall at the top of the key, but does not.
Dione McKinley scores the layup for Eustis.
So approaching 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 44-20. Eads with the drive. She'll take it back out, down to the corner. Gordon pops and drops on that baseline. No dice. Moffitt snagging the rebound. Can't get the follow-up. And tracking down the loose ball. Eustis comes back the other way. Seward over to the right side. That's Highland. Doesn't connect with the rim. Eads pulls down the air ball. And a jump ball called. Held possession.
Held ball, possession Mustangs. Yeah, Coach Butts was trying to get a timeout in, but unfortunately Eads was just not able to cleanly possess the ball.
And once again, Wekiva, this is their first home game in 8 games. An 8-game road trip, that's almost unheard of in high school basketball, but certainly has not deterred them, has not changed their play as they come in 11-0, ranked 3rd overall among all classifications in the state of Florida. That's the Max Prep rankings. So we have not done a broadcast in quite some time as Gordon takes the pass, drives, short, and coming out the other way, Eustis looking for transition. Wekiva gets back quickly. an underrated part of their game, that transition defense. Unfortunately, though, this time it will not go their way as Moffitt draws the foul.
Rylan Moffitt is called on her third personal foul. It's the team's first of this half, and it will send Serena Roll to the line, shooting 2 for the Panthers.
So even though we have not called a home game for Wekiva in 8 games, the one thing that I would say that sticks out to me the most as far as not changing, Mark, is the aggressiveness with which Jada Eads and Rylan Moffitt are playing on defense. Speaking of which, Moffitt's going to take a break. Both those players, Moffitt and Eads, they just have that uncanny knack of being able to stick their hand in at just the right time to break up a pass or at least disrupt the pass. So 44-22, 3:19 remaining in the third quarter. As Lewis passes over to Gordon, back to Lewis, down low to Holiday, double teamed, left wing from Lewis, back down to Holiday, the spin, clanks off that rim, and Eustis getting the offensive rebound, looking to get into transition, intercepted by McCarthy, right place, right time, hand behind though, picking up that loose ball, and no dice for Messidor.
McCarthy gets the rebound, comes down the other way, looks for Eads for the tray, bounces out. Rebound, though, to Jade Lewis. Mustangs will get another chance on offense.
Yeah, about 100 fans at Mustang Arena on Wednesday night, the last contest of the first semester. And Wekiva will maintain possession. McCarthy's going to inbound it. 2:28 before the end of the third quarter. Wekiva scoring 3 baskets on the first 3 possessions, all transition. Howdy spins, runs into the wall at Messidor. One of the few times the Eustis defense has been able to stop Holiday tonight. She has 13 points. Eads the leading scorer with 14 as we approach 2 minutes. And speaking of Eads, I said it a few minutes ago, aggressive, has that habit, has the knack of being able to step in front and put the hand.
J.D. Eads is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against number 13, Serena Roll. That's her 3rd personal foul and the team's 5th. So you were mentioning all the things that Jada Eads is good at, and another one is drawing that contact. You can be sure if she has a transition opportunity, she's either going to get a basket or draw contact trying.
Yeah. Well, specifically, Mark, all the stuff that she does well grows out of that ability, her quickness. And she's not just quick, but she's aggressively quick. Drops the 2 free throws. 15 points now. And by the way, at halftime, as you expect with the score being in double digits, Wekiva was shooting 63% from the field, and they remain over 60% in the third quarter. Ball grabbed by Highland. And now Seward at the top of the key is going to try to make something happen. Nice move, but can't get the right touch. Ball pulled down by Wekiva. Coleman, stop, go, slash, dash, and makes the bang.
Tiara Coleman, coast to coast for the Mustang layup.
46-22, 1:30 before the end of the third quarter.
And I should note that every Mustang that has been in the ball game now has points on the scoreboard. Hercule, the only one in the roster for tonight's game who does not.
The pass down to Lewis. And she finger rolls the deuce.
Jada Eads to Jade Lewis for the Mustang deuce.
And there you see how she uses that aggressive quickness. A beautiful pass by Eads to Lewis. Meanwhile, there's Eads again getting that hand in the way and disrupting the Eustis offense. They settle down. Stop, pop, and drop for McKinley.
Dione McKinley picks up 2 on the jump shot. Under a minute to play now in the third quarter. Mustangs still enjoy more than a 2-1 advantage. Eads to Holiday, gets blocked.
Coming back the other way with
Seward on the rebound after Messidor got the block, and now
Picked up by Gordon, and she will.
Yeah, Coleman actually got the steal and then managed to get it away to Gordon. And now there's the roll.
Finger roll from Eads.
Jada Eads adds the layup for Wekiva.
So Eads set up the play to Lewis on the last possession. Now she's the receiver. And 9 seconds remaining as the ball goes inside to Messidor.
Held ball, possession, Panthers. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Rylan Moffitt.
8.6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And as you just heard Mark talk, Kanari Howdy coming out in favor of Rylan Moffitt. And Coach Butts has been alternating those two players most of the game. He hasn't really had a need to go to both of those big inside players. 3 seconds remaining, down to the corner. Eustis gets the shot off. That was Douglas. Rolls over the rim. And so Wekiva further extends the lead. Once again, continuing to look like the third-ranked team among all classifications in the state.
That takes us to the end of the third quarter. 52-24 is the score with 8 minutes left in the ball game. We'll be back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. So it's been a comfortable lead for Wekiva most of the way. Eustis, for their part, has managed to keep it close enough to avoid a serious discussion of a running clock so far. And Wekiva prepares to take the ball out for the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, 52-24, Wekiva scoring the first 3 baskets, 6 points of the game as Moffitt takes the ball, spins, and goes bank.
Rylan Moffitt opens up fourth quarter scoring for the Mustangs.
Wekiva scoring those first 6 points on the first 3 opportunities, first 3 possessions, all in transition, and then they up the lead to double digits with a 13-2 run at the end of the first quarter. No dice for Messidor on that tray, and we come back the other way. The foul.
Foul called against number 13, Serena Roll. That's her 4th personal foul and the team's 6th of this half.
And so McCarthy will inbound the ball. Too much heat, trying to go to Moffitt, went straight through Moffitt's hands, although Moffitt did have to jump. So the lead will remain at 28 points for the time being. 30 points for the time being. A minute into the fourth quarter. Wekiva coming in 11-0 and looking like the third-ranked team according to the Max Prep rankings. That's among all classifications in the state of Florida. They've done little wrong tonight.
Foul called against Mustangs number 22, Shania McCarthy. That's her first personal foul. And the team's second at the line shooting 2, Charisma Brooks.
And I would say really the only tangible negative tonight, Mark, as you just said, there's 6 foul in the second half, which means Eustis will be in bonus the rest of the way, and there's still 7 minutes remaining. Wekiva shot over 60% from 2-point range throughout this game. They have shot around 55% total, and they've kept the turnovers in single digits as they continue the onslaught. 56-25 now. 31-point lead. Ball comes loose and picked up by Lewis, who's going to lead the charge. Takes it herself.
Jade Lewis, coast to coast to steal the layup.
And so now, Mark, we are at that point where the running clock is a threat. 35 points. A 35-point lead, and that'll stave off that discussion for
Putback made by Kalia Douglas. So she gets her own putback in spite of being blocked by Rylan Moffitt on the first attempt.
Lewis extended left, picks up the pick from Gordon, goes left to right, kicks out to McCarthy, drops to Hercule. Second attempt, this one from Gordon, and Brown skying for the rebound. Eustis looking to cut that lead under 30, 6 minutes remaining. Brooks up top now to McKinley, bounces the pass in, and the pass rejected. The shot rejected. Brown with the shot, Moffitt with the rejection.
Returning to the game for Eustis, number 15, Jakalia Mesidor. And checking in for Wekiva, Jada Eads.
Eads, as you heard Mark, checks in, but quick note, averaging over 20 points per game this season. And Mark, that's something unusual. It's never happened before under Coach Butts. Players scoring as much as Jada has this season, as the rebound from Gordon and Wekiva back into transition, although not nearly at full speed. If you look at all of Wekiva's statistics, especially their points and rebounds as Eads launches, too much heat, gets her own rebound, tracking the loose ball. The pass in the bank from
Eads
Hercule.
to Saria Hercule.
Wekiva's always had Wekiva's never had a scorer who averaged more than 15 points in the season. Generally speaking, they've had multiple players who have scored between 8 and 14 points, the same with rebounds between 5 and 10. Jada Eads is averaging over 20 points this season.
So what's something interesting worth noting, with Zariah Hercule getting that basket, now every Mustang in the scorebook tonight has points.
So Wekiva with the 33-point lead, and Coach Butts calls a timeout. Quick note, again, Coach Butts is not calling that timeout necessary for this game, but coaches also coach for the next few games, not just the current coach.
30-second timeout requested by the Mustangs. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi here with Neil Fisher. With 4 minutes, 49 seconds left on the clock, and the Mustangs ready to go to work again here. Coach Butts taking that time out to make some minor adjustments. Again, Wekiva not doing a lot wrong in this game, but certainly they have dominated the whole way through.
And of course, if you follow Wekiva basketball, you know defense is job number one. Wekiva makes its living on defense. Not necessarily one kind. They like to go to a lot of different types of defenses as the ball is launched by Seward, no dice, pulled down by Eustis. They take the second opportunity, and Brown makes good.
Tanaja Brown picks up 3.
But as good as those defenses have been, and again, defense creates transition opportunity, which not just scoring, but you're also challenging the opponent's physical condition and in particular endurance. As good as those defenses have been in the past, Coach Butts at the beginning of the season said he thinks this defense is the best that he's ever had in the 10 seasons at Wekiva. And just took a look at the scores. Certainly through the first half of the season, hard to argue with Coach Butts, as McCarthy does not draw a rim, but Holiday tracks down that loose ball And Wekiva will go back to work with 3:45 remaining. Holiday bowls her way through that zone.
Canary Holiday fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Panthers number 50, Jakelia Mesidor. That's her first personal foul in the team's 7th.
And Wekiva scored over 40. Wekiva's given up more than 48 points just once through these first 12 games. I am including tonight. They're not going to give up 48 points tonight. The only team that has been able to score more than 48 points against Wekiva is American Heritage. That was the second game they played during the Florida Prospects Thanksgiving Classic. And they won that game 63-61. 3.5 remaining. And Holiday gets her hand on the ball. Right place, right time, great anticipation. McCarthy over to
That was Coleman.
Coleman unable to drop the deuce twice, but Wekiva continues to grab those rebounds. And now they'll slow it down. Hercule with her second opportunity.
Canary Holiday to Zariah Hercule for 3. And you heard the Mustang bench erupt for Zariah Hercule, a bench player who has not seen a ton of minutes, but she's made the most of them. As Peyton Highland and Diani McKinley come back in for Eustis.
So 3 minutes remaining. Eustis, 33-point deficit. That'll make it 31.
Diani McKinley from the paint for 2.
And once again, Wekiva with a 11-0 record, looking to go 12-0 tonight. And defense, perhaps the best that Coach Butts has ever had. And there you see an example. They've only given up 48 points, more than 48 points once, and Hercule trying to make something happen.
Putback made by Canary Holiday. And yeah, that was good work by Diani McKinley. She just couldn't quite pump the brakes fast enough and nearly peeled out going out of bounds, and that's what caused her to slip and make that turnover. And now Eustis can't chase down the rebound, so it'll be Mustangs' ball on the defensive team rebound. And we had a little collision in the splash zone of the stands there. And Brown gets up on her own power.
And
checking into the game for Eustis, number 11, Charisma Brooks.
And as we only have 2 minutes remaining as we're close to the end of this game, just one more time, want to send along our condolences to the family and friends of Ed Kirshner. If you're new to high school basketball, boys basketball, he was the all-time winningest coach in the state of Florida. 903 victories, won a championship with Osceola, 37-0 in 1982, and then won a second in 2016 with Oviedo. Certainly, he will be missed, but he will always be remembered and looked upon. Great career and great life. He passed away earlier today at the age of 82. So again, we say farewell to the great coach, Ed Kirshner, and offer our condolences. In the meantime,
Brown for 3, can't get it to drop. And this time the rebound goes to Amaria Gordon. Mustangs slowing down just a little bit, wait for the half-court sets to come together. 72 seconds to go here in this Wednesday night contest that, again, will wrap up the first half of the regular season. Again, special event happening the week after Christmas. That Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Wekiva will be playing in the Platinum Division and will also be hosting the Platinum Division. And we're going to get a full timeout called by Wekiva. So Coach Butts is going to go through exactly how he wants these last 56 seconds to play out, and we'll take the break with him. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. And we've got 55 seconds with Coach Butts giving direction to exactly what he wants to happen.
And this has been a complete clinic by Wekiva on how to put on how to play basketball. They came out as Gordon drives, and we'll have a held ball. 38.9 seconds remaining.
Held ball, possession Panthers.
I would really say the only negative, if you're Coach Butts, you take out of this game is the fact that Wekiva did get into the bonus with 7 minutes remaining. I mean, they committed 7. Wekiva came out strong. Again, third-ranked team in max preps among all classifications. And they looked that way from the start. 3 possessions, first 3 possessions, 3 transition opportunities, converted 3 field goals, 6-0, and they just steadily increased that lead. They shot over 60% from two-point range, 55% overall, forced Eustis into double-digit turnovers, and they will up the record to 12-0. And as I say goodnight tonight, I want to once again congratulate Coach Tommy Butts, who now has over 300 wins. Take us home, Mark.
That takes us to the end of the ball game. 65-32 is the final score here on Wednesday Night Basketball to wrap up the first semester of our 15th anniversary season. We want to thank everyone who came out tonight to support your Mustang and Panther athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us on YouTube or the NFHS Network. Special shout out to our parents of our Mustang players. Thanks for all that you do to support these young ladies on and off the court and making possible all of the great basketball action that we see day in and day out. My thanks to Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, as well as Keith Dickerson and his entire crew at Wekiva TV Broadcast Production, bringing you the action tonight and all season long. We'll be back for the Florida Prospects event coming up on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And we're going to take a break and enjoy the holidays with our families. We hope that you will do the same. Again, for Neil Fisher, this is Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs. This has been a presentation of Wekiva High School Athletics in association with Orange Technical College, both a proud part of Orange County Public Schools. 65-32, the victory here on Wednesday Night Basketball. Happy holidays from our family to yours, and good night from Mustang Arena.